It looks like Ruto is determined to burn down the country. Maybe in his book, as if there's no William Ruto, there's no Kenya. And by the way, he said those words one time. Yeah. During the Gen Z demonstrations, he said if there's no Kenya for him, there will not be a Kenya for anybody else. That's a very dangerous way of reasoning.
The People's Liberation Party leader, Kenya Karua, has intensified her criticism of President William Ruto's administration, declaring that the head of state will receive significantly fewer votes in the upcoming 2027 general election compared to his 2022 performance.
2022, he genuinely got some votes, and even then he never won. He stole the election. But this time round, he will not even have those votes that he had in 2022. The whole country has revolted.
The veteran opposition figure has emerged as one of the most vocal critics within the United Opposition Coalition that is positioning itself to challenge Ruto's re-election bid. Karua appeared on a local media station on Sunday, February 16, 2026, where she restated a long-standing opposition to President Ruto's government. She declared that she has never supported Ruto and does not consider him suitable for the presidency. The PLP party leader clarified that since she never supported his first term, the question of supporting a second term does not arise.
So the question of supporting the second does not arise. I've never considered him suitable for the presidency.
She acknowledged that Ruto has state machineries at his disposal and knows he is totally unelectable in the country.
The machinery.
Yes, he has the machinery, but people have made up their minds, and he knows he's totally unelectable in this country. Yeah. This is not last 2022. He genuinely got some votes, and even then he never won. He stole the election.
Karua claimed that while Ruto genuinely got some votes in 2022 election, he never won and instead stole the election. She predicted that this time round, she will not even have those votes that he had in 2022 because the whole country has revolted against his administration.
Machinery, but people have made up their minds, and he knows he's totally unelectable in this country. Yeah. This is not last 2022. He genuinely got some votes, and even then he never won. He stole the election. But this time round, he will not even have those votes that he had in 2022. The whole country has revolted.
The opposition leader painted a grim picture of the 2027 electoral period. During the same interview, she warned that based on what the country is currently witnessing, the situation does not look good.
2027, it's going to be all campaign, but judging from what we are seeing today, it doesn't look good. It looks like Ruto is determined to burn down the country. Maybe in his book, as if there's no William Ruto, there's no Kenya. And by the way, he said those words one time. Yeah.
Karua stated that it appears Ruto is determined to burn down the country, suggesting that perhaps in his calculation, if there is no William Ruto, there is no Kenya. She recalled a statement she attributed to President Ruto during the 2024 Gen Z demonstration, claiming he said that if there is no Kenya for him, there will be no the Kenyan for anybody else.
It doesn't look good. It looks like Ruto is determined to burn down the country. Maybe in his book, as if there's no William Ruto, there's no Kenya. And by the way, he said those words one time. Yeah. During the Gen Z demonstrations,
Yeah.
he said if there's no Kenya for him, there will not be a Kenya for anybody else. That's a very dangerous way of reasoning.
Karua characterized this as a very dangerous way of reasoning as a national leader. The PLP leader emphasized that the presidency is a position of service rather than a personal entitlement. She stated that Ruto is one person who has been given the honor of sitting in the high seat, but the country does not belong to him.
You are one person. You've been given the honor of sitting on the highest seat. The country doesn't belong to you. And that seat is not a title deed which you can wave in our faces. Remember always, you're a servant of the nation, not a master of your own. So if you think we are too much, you can go home and somebody else will take it.
Karua argued that the presidential seat is not a title deed which it can wave each people's face. She reminded the president that he is a servant of the nation, not a master of his own, adding that if he thinks Kenya are too much for him, he can go home and somebody else will take the position. Karua had previously addressed the deepening division within the Orange Democratic Movement during an interview on Sunday, February 15, 2026. She blamed President Ruto for the turmoil engulfing ODM, arguing that the party's current crisis is largely driven by internal disagreement over whether to support the head of state ahead of the 2027 elections. The PLP leader stated that ODM should be allowed space to resolve its internal disputes, but warned that the signs emerging from the party were not very encouraging. She expressed her view that losing Edwin Sifuna would be costly for ODM since he is an asset to have in any party, arguing the party to try and keep itself together. When pressed on whether ODM could hold itself together amid the visible rift between former Secretary General and the party figure aligned with Oburu Odinga, Karua expressed doubts about the party's prospects of unity. She directly blamed the president for the split, stating that one can see in his hand and the shadow of his hand splitting the ODM. Karua noted that even before late party fund was buried, faction had already emerged within ODM. She described how one section of the party was arguing that the departed leader had left them firmly in government and that they should be supporting President Ruto in 2027, while another group led by Sifuna and other rejected that position. According to Karua, this split is fundamentally about whether or not to support President Ruto than a mere personal clashes.